This is like the third time I've had to record this video. I'm sorry if I sound tired. Let me fix that. Yeah, digital story presentation. I'm so excited. Let's get this over with. Alright, so boom. November 27th, 1998, this little beanbag was born. And if you couldn't tell, yes, I am that little beanbag. The name is Stephen-T. Thomas II, born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. Not as busy as the other major cities, but hey, at least when I can. The Glass City, the mud, Pothole Central, whatever you want to call it, this was and still is my home. I don't really have a lot of background culture to pull from, so up until 2017, this was my culture. A small city where everybody knows everybody and people stay in your business 24/7. I was blessed enough to grow up here with both of my parents in my life, despite their own history. But for the most part, it was me, my brother, and my mom. My brother is 7 years older than me. We didn't have the same dad, but he told me at a young age that we don't do halfsies. We're either locked in or we're not. He was also the one who introduced me to the world of Power Rangers and anime. I partially blame him for my blissful ignorance since I couldn't fully rationalize the concepts of these shows being fake. So, as a way to deny the grueling reality that I could never fight alien space monsters with my friends or go Super Saiyan, the real world became foreign to me. I didn't really see race or think about different cultures and identities because it didn't matter who you were, at least not to me. Your color, your ethnicity, whatever planet, dimension, or timeline you came from, didn't matter. Long as you weren't trying to take over the world or cause trouble for no reason, you were pretty alright. Then we have my mom, who kept me a bit more grounded and did not understand our nonsense. But if me and my brother said we were Power Rangers, she would say that we were Power Rangers, and you would have no choice but to believe it. Having to raise two hard-headed boys on your own is no easy feat, but she made it look easy and did whatever she could to make us happy. My mom always supported us and was the backbone necessary for my growth, learning the importance of unconditional love no matter the circumstances. And finally, we have my dad. He and my mom separated when I was like 6 or 7, I don't know. But he didn't let that stop him from loving me any less either. And before the divorce, even today, he shares a connection with my brother as if he was one of his own. My dad always made sure that I stayed connected to his side of the family due to the expectations of sharing the same name. He didn't want me living a full life with half the family. He also believed in rewards. People call me spoiled, but he rewarded me for going above and beyond with academics and home life with allowances, which became the standard. These three influenced my direction, how one should talk to people, what respect looked like, and why it was so important to carry yourself with confidence. But what about this little guy? What did he want to do? I gave a lot of background information mainly because I had to craft my own identity from the values and actions of my family. If I had to further mix in school, friends, life in general, and my own personal interests, what, or should I say who, would eventually culminate from that? Taken from the nickname my mom and brother would call me, and still call me to this day, and the initial of my last name to honor the Thomas family, Stevie-T became my persona pretty much from freshman year of high school to present day. I'm skipping elementary and middle school, but here's how I looked. Moving on. Initially starting as an alter ego that I would channel to increase my self-esteem, Stevie-T would end up becoming an integral part of who I was. And that's where culture, at least my version of it, comes in. When you grow up without a strong cultural background or blueprint to pull from, you piece one together from the people you love and admire, the media you consume, and the values you decide to carry. But that isn't enough. You have to have goals, aspirations, or some sort of passion, and I wanted to do something different. I wasn't athletic and cunning like my brother, strict and business oriented like my dad, or selfless and careful like my mom. But I was creative. I had a wild imagination, as I mentioned, and I didn't want to lose that as I grew up. Morphing into a Power Ranger was out of the question, but holding a mic or being on a stage seemed like a possibility. So, when homework was done, I would spend my time listening to music, almost trying to emulate certain artists like Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, Drake before the recency bias. You get it. This eventually evolved into performing at various talent shows or school events, sometimes writing my own music, and it felt good to know others enjoy my presence and my talent. I'm not entirely sure where this affinity for the arts came from, and I know better than to question the passion, but I love it. I haven't given up on that dream either. It's just not paying the bills right now. However, thanks to my Stevie-T persona, I became more outgoing. My high school was already a melting pot of different ethnicities such as Black, White, Latinx, Asian, Arab, you name it. But we were also very progressive with our views on the LGBTQ+ community at the time. Things only continued to expand when I got to college at Ohio State University. I was able to meet more people, which led to more experiences, which led to more moments, and you get the point. I like connection. We as humans crave it more than anything. We're all searching for ways to relate to one another, and I realized that I could connect to more people through education. I spent most of my summers in college working and volunteering at summer camp or early arrival programs for OSU. After I graduated, I became a substitute teacher and even taught my own ELA class for a semester. It was cool, but I noticed that students didn't crave education as much anymore. They were like me, craving connection, support, and understanding. While on this journey to figure out where I was headed, I joined the greatest fraternity on earth, was rewarded for my photography and artistry, and continued to build myself. But one thing I've learned is that the world can be pretty cruel. My rose-tinted glasses were off. I just couldn't act like race, ethnicity, or culture didn't hover over my head 24/7. If I wanted to continue my education to help others, I had to be humbled a bit. At the time of this recording, we're coming up on the rear end of 2025, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been a lot. I felt myself become a little bit of a perfectionist over the years, so apologies if this is doing too much. But when I look back on how far I've come, I can't help feeling like it's happening so fast. I've just started questioning, how did I even get here? In this past year alone, my place of residence was violated, I lost a very important family member, and my main source of employment got rid of me. I've been struggling to balance the harsh reality that people can get up and leave or let you go without a moment's notice, all because they don't need you anymore. Some of those past connections are what got me here in the first place, and I wonder if I've been serving my purpose because I was not meant to succeed. People say I'm lucky to be here, and I don't blame them. As much as I am humorous, creative, and loving, I can be just as pessimistic, sad, or straight up lost. I don't like bringing up race, but sometimes I feel like a black man shouldn't be this emotional. But these emotions shape us. They give us the ability to understand one another and interact. And I guess that's what this video is for. A chance to re-experience these emotions, moments, and people that shaped me in hopes that I can do the same for someone else. On February 13th, 2025, I was accepted into the counselor education program at Ohio State. And if it weren't for my values or something that my interviewers saw in me, I wouldn't be here. I was told that I have the heart of a counselor simply from my past experiences and how I was able to navigate through them. I'm not entirely sure what that means yet, but I think it's an honor. Like I said, I'm not supposed to be here. But growing up and being able to diversify my surroundings through school, work, and travel have allowed for my identities to intersect and become the man that stands before you. My background was always kind of childish. Some people love it and others not so much. But I always knew that I wanted to help people through different channels. Anime, music, comedy, or simple communication. That's my goal as I continue through this grad school journey, to make others feel seen. I know my own background shapes how I see the world, but as a counselor, I have to make space for values different from mine too. I know that this seems like a conglomeration of randomness, but that's just who I am. Son, brother, friend, musician, photographer, educator, alpha, and future counselor. As you can see, I'm a lot of things. I plan on becoming a lot more in this life. I'm not perfect, and I don't think this little beanbag ever strove for perfection. Just connection.